It's open showers at those units that I was at Ramsey and at Jonay. So, I mean, we would go in the showers and people that I didn't even know, I became very familiar with. And I mean, there's no privacy. So, I mean, you know when somebody is interested and when they're not.
Prison Stories 101. We have the exclusive honor to sit down with I want to say this is a first, where we have someone who, of course, is openly gay that actually had to serve prison time. One thing I want to do, of course, before we get started is have you introduce yourself and tell us how much time you served.
My name is Joshua Helene, and I did 6 years in TDC.
All right, thank you. The first thing we always try to do whenever we do these prison stories is we try to get a little backstory, try to find out the who, what, when, where, and how, and things of that nature. I'm going to do this one a little different because normally in prison, we would have a situation where, someone may go in, of course, not gay or not having have ever had any situation with a man, and then of course come out, and they've changed, their whole fortitude on that. For you, how long have you, of course, went as gay, been considered gay? Is it something from birth? Is it something that was, of course, in adolescence years?
I mean, I think I came out when I was 20. Okay. So,
all right. So I say that, so that's going to set the precedent for the next few questions, meaning the first thing we try to find out is the what. What was the crime that, of course, had you have to sit down and do your 6 years?
Manufacturing, delivering methamphetamine, GHB, and fentanyl.
Okay.
Selling drugs.
Yeah, that's kind of serious. Well, for those who feel it is. When it comes to the where did you catch your case and where did you serve your time?
So I actually I have two numbers. The first time that I went down, I was overdue release, and that was out of Cook County, but just like maybe 30 minutes from Dallas. And I was overdue release because I did so much time in county that when I got to TDC, I got my number, and then I was left like 3 weeks later, I went home. This time I caught my case out of Dallas. And I went and I did 6 years. So Dallas County.
When did you do this time? From what year did you go in? What year did you get out?
Yeah, 2017 to 2023.
During COVID. Yeah, we'll get to those stories. Yeah. We like to ask the who, as in the who was affected by you having to go to prison. Who did you leave behind? Whether mother, brothers, families, significant others. Who was affected by you having to go away for those years?
So just like as far as who was affected by just me being gone would be like my mom, my brother. In the game, you don't know who your friends are and who they aren't. So I would say friends. But I had a few people stick with me that had, ended up paying for a lot of commissary for me. So I would say there's a couple of my friends that stuck by me.
Do you mind speaking on the actual incident itself as far as, we speak on the why. Mm-hmm. As you're sitting in front of a judge and you're like, hey, he's going to sentence you. We always have to ask ourselves why. Why am I here? What did I do to get here? Or was it financial reason? Was it lack of parenting, lack of friends? Was it trusting the wrong people? Can you speak on the why that you feel got you where you're facing a judge and facing this amount of time?
I don't know where in my life, I guess I felt like I needed to use in order to feel normal or like to numb the issues that I had in the past. But if I was asked why, I would say I actually started using in college in my fraternity. And then I ended up dropping out of college and coming to Texas, back from Nebraska to Texas, to get away from the drug. And then I found it. They were next door to us. And so I started getting high again. I would say as far as like the why, like I love money and I love quick, fast money. And I think that probably My addiction was mixed with making money because that's how I made money. That's why my charge is selling. And so I quickly earned a lot of money and had brand new cars and nice places. And I had been to jail probably like 5 times before that just for, possession or, intent to deliver. So when I got in front of the judge, when I went the first time from Cook County and I went back, got out for like 6 months, I thought I strategically did it to where, I wouldn't have people at my apartment. So I had a trap house. And so no one would come to my apartment. So when I finally got caught, one of my friends of like 12 years told on me. And I was in front of the judge due to the fact that I already had been to TDC for drugs. I knew that I was going back.
One of your friends told?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever find out why, or do you know why he told, or could you?
It was she, Erica.
Oh, she.
I don't know why she told. I'm assuming she came to my house, to the trap house, picked up, and then she called me the next day to come get more. And I got surrounded by the police instead of her. So I'm assuming, she just got her kids back from CPS. So I'm assuming she probably got pulled over on the way home. And maybe try to cop a plea. I don't know. I haven't spoke to her. Wow. I've forgiven her, but I don't want anything to do with her.
Yeah. You said you were actually a user. What was your drug of choice, or what all drugs have you had tried by that time of getting to college?
Before like college, I think I maybe smoked some weed, but like in between, like coming to Dallas, my drug of choice is methamphetamine and GHB. I made a lot of money off of fentanyl, but that was also, you got to remember, in 2017, so 8 years ago, before it was mainstream and people were cutting everything with it. Back then, it was new to the market, so to speak, as far as drugs. So that's where the money was at, was fentanyl, because they were mixing it with, heroin and methamphetamine to enhance.
For those who don't know what fentanyl is, what form does fentanyl take, or is it multiple forms?
There's multiple forms. I had suckers. I had used to trade methamphetamine for fentanyl suckers. Yeah. And I would smash up the suckers to make, mix it with different things such as heroin and snort it.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Upon the day of getting arrested, can you walk us through that day? Like you said, you're supposed to meet your friend, but, take us through what that day was. Were you even mentally prepped to be locked up?
So I was at a Budget Suites. My best friend had just had a heroin overdose and he died. His name was Robert.
Robert, condolences.
Mm-hmm. And I left this out a second ago, but I had, in order to tell you the story, I was doing storage wars to where you go to different places and you purchase storage units. And so I had purchased a storage unit, and inside the storage unit were 24 Smith & Wesson guns. They were duplicates. And so when my friend came over the night before, she said that she was in the country, and I gave her one of the guns to my collector editions. So I said to say the next day I'm with my friend, or I'm grieving my friend at a Budget Suites. And I post something on Facebook, mourning my friend. And I said something to that nature of, how sad I was that I was missing him. And then she called me and was like, "Hey, I know you're hungry. Can I come over?" And I was like, "No, you can't come over. I don't want anybody over." And she's like, "I know you're hungry." And so I let her come over, or gave her where I was at. Probably 30 minutes later, I get a phone call from the front desk of the Budget Suites. And they said that there was a pesticide issue on my floor and that they were going to give me $100 off the next week if I moved rooms. So I said, okay. I took a hit and I walked out. And when I walked out, I went to lock the door, and I seen these two guys right here in front of my window. And I kind of knew something was up, but I was just woke up, high, wasn't paying attention to anything. And so I shut the door and I go down the stairs and I go around and I get swarmed by ATF. Swarms me. And then, so on my way, they swarm me and I'm on the ground and I sit out there for 6 hours as they tried to get me. I had a dog in there, and they were trying to get me to go in there and let them in there to feed the dog. And I was like, no, you're not going in there. And
do you feel the hotel was telling you switch rooms because that's what the ATF told them to get you out?
Yep.
Wow.
That's exactly what happened.
What'd you have inside the room at the time?
A lot of money, a lot of drugs, like a lot of, that's one thing about going to jail or going to prison is you lose everything that you've gained. So, I mean, I had my own apartment too, but I lost all of that as well because I was in jail and couldn't pay it.
Upon getting arrested, do you immediately get a lawyer? Do you get a court appointed? And what is the conversation as far as what they have, what you're looking at? Do you have a conversation about what this thing might be?
So my mom hired a lawyer, thankfully. Thankfully, I did do some things right, such as save money. And because the room was in my name and because I was present there was no way for me to get out of the fact that I was the one in control of the room. So the conversation was just like, what can we plead to where, they don't, because I had a lot and fentanyl. Gratefully back then, fentanyl was so new to the market. It wasn't as it is today.
It's dangerous
correct. Because people they're cutting it fentanyl with everything and not telling anybody. And then people are dying because of it. But 8 years ago, it was very fresh. China White just came out. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, I spent a year and like 3 months fighting the case because they started off at 25 years and then I got them down to 8.
Wow. Do you understand why the government wants to put 25 years for any type of drug charge? You understand like that mentality of the government or the state wanting to give that much time for distribution?
So, I mean, I'm kind of mixed. I realize now being sober and being in the world that like the amount of people that my actions affected, like, I didn't realize that every person that I let leave my apartment or my hotel room with drugs in their hand or high, like have a possibility of hurting anybody driving home or going, they're inebriated. And also the families of them, as I supplied them and like what their addiction caused to them. But as far as like severity of the things going on in the world and why they're putting so many years onto drug charges, I think that they do need to reconsider like priorities of what is important.
Okay. Did you end up taking it to trial?
No.
All right. So you accepted the 8 years?
Yes.
Did you know that, of course you did 6, but you were mentally prepped to do the 8 as far as going in?
Yes.
All right. You've only been in like jail, I guess, a couple times before that.
Yeah. And I went to TDC for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got my hair cut, I got my hair shaved, I got a number. I was in the gurney, like just in the transfer facility until they let me out. So I had been down there. I knew the process of intake, which is a very long process. So
yes. And what was you said what unit were you in, or where did you go?
So I went to Holiday. And then from Holiday, I went to Ramsey 2, which is Stringfellow in Houston. And then I went to Joe Nay in San Antonio, and I got out from Ramsey 1 is when I caught the bus. They were doing things a lot differently when I got out because of COVID.
Yes, okay.
So when I got out in 23, they had switched up, like they got rid of transfer facilities or something like that. And so like the exit, what it used to be that you would go to a transfer exit facility and leave. But now it was, I left directly from the actual unit.
Can you tell us about your first day going into the pen as far as just that experience? First of all, what you felt, and then what you felt going in mentally, then the actual experience, if you don't mind speaking on that.
I mean, I think, of course, there's butterflies and nerves going into any place that you are not familiar with. And then also, you hear all these stories about what happens to gay guys in prison and those type of things. So thankfully, I get along with a lot of people. Like I'm naturally, pretty good with conversing with different types of people. And I also know how to mind my own business. And so I didn't really have too many altercations that first amount of time. I'm also a gambler. I love playing spades and I also love playing poker. So I was, quickly busy, making commissary and playing games in the beginning.
You speak on, of course, the rumors and the things of as far as being gay going into prison. What trepidation did you have what fears did you have as far as walking in that there's, they always talk about predators and prey. Did you feel like, hey, am I walking in with I'm going to be prey mentality?
No, I never did. I think maybe me being openly gay was, I guess I already knew what time it was. I wasn't, I think that being gay in prison, you can either, it has its perks and it has its disadvantages. Me going in as a white guy that's gay, I don't have to face heart checks or go to gangs and figure out which one I want to join and then deal with, having to earn my loyalty to them, being gay in prison. I couldn't sit with a lot of different people and they couldn't eat after me, but I knew my role and I knew my place.
So how does it work as far as, and this is where we get into the stories now. Did you know anybody going in as far as, even when you're getting transferred, did you become friends with anybody? Did you know anybody that was already there that you linked up with or just knew oh, you're here too? Did you go in knowing anyone at all or have any relationships with anyone going in?
So I've run into, being a drug dealer in Dallas, in Texas, I've ran into multiple people that I knew during my youth, during the time that I was selling. But no, I didn't really, I made friends. I made, I don't want to call them friends, but I made alliances with people to where and it's crazy how big the prison system is, but how small it is too. Because the people that I was in the transfer facility popped up 2 or 3 years later as they came into my facility, or I would go, when I moved to the Cool Bed unit, which was in San Antonio, Jonay, I ran into one guy that I still talk to today that's out, that I knew from the streets, but just the different people that you meet in the in the different transferring of units and stuff like that.
Did you have any altercations the first, few days, weeks, let's just say the first few months? Did you have any altercations or you kind of played it the right way? I didn't have any altercations until I actually hit the unit, hit the actual unit. And it was several months after, because I was a clerk in the laundry and somebody didn't want to pay me the money they owed me. And so I lost, but I tried. Well, let's stay right there. The way these stories work, we're going to be bouncing around, but let's speak on that. You had a job. I'm assuming you have multiple jobs while you're in there, but one job was a clerk. I was the clerk in laundry. So I was over all whites and new sheets and blankets. So I did all the books for. Oh, I thought you meant the white people. No, the whites, the uniform. Okay. Yes, the uniforms. Okay. I was in charge of the whites. And then there was another clerk that was in charge of the chemicals, which was the bleach, the digest, the stuff. And those are both highly sought items in prison. People want to look starched up and people want to look. What does someone owe you? What does it normally cost for them to have owed you? For a full set, $3. So if they want a pair of pants and a shirt, brand new, out of the thing, it was $3. And I quickly learned too, just they're snitching on the street, they're snitching in there. So I had to start hustling through people that worked with me in the laundry. So that way my name wasn't on the streets or the bowling alley where people were, oh, go to Josh. So I had to strategically learn how to change from selling methamphetamine to selling whites. The person that owed you, did he owe you $3 or? He owed me, so I think it was $9 altogether. I had let him go on the first one, waited, and then I want to say I got him a fresh, rushed set, and he ended up owing me. But the point of it is it was not about the $8 or $9. It was about the fact that you thought I was a hoe, or you thought that you could just
do me any. But it wasn't more for him. It was more for other people as well. Like we're win, lose or draw. Like we're gonna get out there, and figure it out.
In that scenario, you kicked it off. You threw the first blow.
I did, and I got beat up. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like I got a couple good hits. He got a couple good hits. It wasn't like some of the fights that I saw in there. Okay. Like it wasn't like they didn't come and take me to medical or anything like that. It was just I was done.
Okay.
But I think a lot in prison, though, a lot of it is just you have the heart to stand up for yourself. It's not about whether you beat them up or they beat you up. It's more about, are you going to stand up for yourself?
Yeah. Well, let's stay within the world of fights. As you said, you've seen some fights in there as you hit the unit. Can you speak on some of the worst fights you've seen, or one of the worst fights you've seen that you're like, wow, I'm in a hellish place?
Well, I'll give you two different. So one was like, let's just say K2. K2 was very prevalent, and when people got onto K2, they become zombies, and I would watch people go to store and give their entire 95 away, and then still owe money and then not pay it right. So I saw a bunch of people get care flighted out of there, and it's very sad to see that type of thing. And then also me being gay, there was also relationships drama. And I had a couple of people that I had met in there that were gay, that were in couples, but the gang didn't know that the man in the relationship was gay or that he was playing with the punk. And so I watched like them get stomped out or them get beat up to a pulp to where they were care flighted away as well. So I saw a lot, but I didn't speak on a lot.
All right. Well, I have to ask then, for you, you had either relations while in prison? If so, often, or was it, I had one guy, I was like, I'm good with him and we're good.
I never had a relationship in prison. I just got lucky a lot in prison. And I don't want to glorify it, but I definitely, I think a lot of gay people watch, pornographic things with the prison system. And I mean, I definitely had my fair share of fun in the open showers. That's what you're asking.
Jeez, please. But now this is a very stark contrast to the people that we've had on this platform before. We get a lot of, let's just say, black males that come in here. They shame any individuals who are going to talk to, and they use the word punks, they use the words homosexual, they use all kind of words. Anybody who goes in gang ties and they end up, laying down with a man, sleeping with a man, getting fellatio from a man, it's like, hey, two lay down, one lay down, two get up, and that's just the case. And it's such a shame thing. For those black men that has come in here, did you see a lot of situations where men would move around like they're straight as an arrow, and then when the lights cut or when the opportunity they're yes.
I honestly have never really been into black men until I was in prison. I think that the people that claim to be the straightest or are the biggest haters on the gays are typically the ones that are doing it. Like normally it's like the people that have so much to say about us are the ones that are like secretly in the showers trying to get some. It's normally the people that don't. I don't know. It's just been my experience. Yeah.
So are they approaching you or you approaching them? Like, how does that dichotomy work when it comes to I know you're not on this level, but somehow it ends up you're on this level.
So I think it's open showers at those units that I was at Ramsey and at Jonay. So, we would go in the showers and people that I didn't even know, I became very familiar with. And there's no privacy. So, when somebody is interested and when they're not.
Oh,
yeah.
I get what you mean. So how does that work then? As far as someone's looking at you, they wink, or you look at them, you wink. How does that interaction begin from your memory, as far as your recollection of how that kicks off?
It's kind of like seeing somebody in a club. That you fancy, in straight terms, like you see a girl in the club and you want her to know you're interested, but you don't want everybody around to know that you're interested. I had to learn just to be very discreet and be very mindful of who is around and pay attention, which me selling drugs, that's just natural for me anyways. But I mean, yeah, I mean, from winks to erections to barbers rubbing up on me when I'm getting my hair cut to just random, I think being out, I was an easy, I don't want to say target because I don't feel like I was targeted, but like they knew where to go to get some. There was no like question or ambiguity.
You're saying a barber would like play with your ear or something, or like
they would rub up on my arm or something.
Jeez,
I found that barbers and tattoo artists were the most frisky.
I meant to ask your tattoos. Did you get those in prison or?
I got my chest done in prison.
Okay, so who did the chest portion? Was it what nationality did that?
A Mexican. A Muslim Mexican.
A Muslim. Wow, there was. That's the first time I've heard that term, Muslim Mexican. I didn't know they. Wow, that opened up a whole nother thing. I didn't know that existed. I think that's a peacock. The peacock tattoo.
That's new. The peacock's new.
Okay, so that's free world.
But I did this, and this in prison, and then this, and this in prison, and then my whole chest.
Okay. For barbers, tattoo artists, someone who doesn't have access to you like that, but is interested, like, I'm trying to. What did they do? Did they like, I think you said you worked as a clerk. What other jobs did you do?
I was a peer educator. I was a clerk and a peer educator.
That's a lot of access there.
Two jobs that were very hard to get. I ended up with, for two different reasons. To answer your question about like I said, every morning, I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, we went to showers and it's open. Like you are butt naked in a room squished with like 40 people taking a shower together. So when you're interested in somebody, they gravitate next to you or near you, or they may not get you the first day, but maybe the next day they're right next to you. And I think you can tell when somebody's interested in you.
Patterns change, I guess.
Correct.
Patterns change.
But the good thing about for me, and as far as if you're talking about like sex is concerned, first of all, financially, I made a lot of commissary by selling the uniforms and stuff like that. I also had a lot of access in the shower. The laundry is over the shower. So what that means is that I could go shower whenever I wanted. I had access to the shower room whenever I wanted to. So, yeah.
Did you ever have to sell yourself?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Did you frown upon that or those who did that?
No. No, I don't even frown upon people out here that do that. I think it's a hustle. I'm all for the hustle.
Yeah. How many other openly gay individuals would you say is on, like, in your particular unit while you were there? About how many others were like, were you like a unicorn in the situation or just like a small handful?
Well, I was never in protective custody. So like most like trans and like gay people, if they want to be protected, they'll go to protective custody. But I would say there's like 2 or 3 on my unit, not too many compared to the amount of people. So I wouldn't say unicorn, but I mean, there weren't that many. Like in comparison, there was not that many openly. You
said you didn't even bat an eye at a black man, I guess I'm assuming prior, and then after prison,
well, during prison.
During prison, what was that? Was it more so like, what got you to the point where you're like, hey, I don't mind these guys?
I just never opened my mind to it.
Okay.
I always thought they're a little too big for me.
Oh. See, there you go.
I'll say it.
Now, do you prefer them? And I'm not saying at the time, did you prefer a black man or Mexican, Caucasian, or any other nationality?
Probably preferred a Mexican or a white.
When it comes to those white guys, Mexicans, blacks, those guys who are secretly trying to edge over and, come in contact with someone like you, what nationality do you feel is more on that, hey, I want to keep this a secret, and, versus saying, hey, I don't give a damn,
Probably black guys are the most secretive.
Did you ever have a situation where guys had fought over you?
Like in a relationship, no. Did they get caught messing with me and then get in trouble and get into fights behind that? Yes. I didn't have I wasn't dating anybody. Like I was very much all about my own needs. To see someone get
beat up or get violated or whatever for being with you. Did you have any remorse? Were you like, man, I mean, hey, he should have known better?
Well, I'm not a predator. I've never been one to like prey on people. So like if we played around or messed around, then it was because we both were interested. So like they made their decision and I made my decision. So I didn't feel guilty. Like at the end of the day in prison, you have choices and consequences for your actions. And if you choose to do something that's contrary to maybe what your gang stands for or what you signed up for, then that's on you. I mean, there's limits and things that I had to follow too.
Yeah.
You know,
I was going to ask you that. What are the rules, would you say, for another man who goes into the penitentiary system, and this is state, what rules would you say if the guy is openly gay going into the prison system? What rules does he need to possibly survive, or what rules do you feel he needs to abide by as he goes in, if any rules?
I mean, first of all, I mean, you have to understand that there are rules that prohibit people from doing certain things in prison, and such as homosexuality is big. But I mean, is that a
gang rule, or more so just a generic?
It's a gang rule.
Yeah, like the gangs be like, it's prohibited.
You have to have like a certain amount of time. I think if it's like you have 40 years or more, you can participate. But if you don't, you can't.
Wow, that's good.
But I mean, I never was in a gang, so I don't know all of their different rules. But I mean, you just got to be conscientious of the fact that you are alone. Like at the end of the day, if I get into a fight, I don't have a whole crew behind me that's going to defend me. Like it's me.
Yeah. Is there protection in prison as far as use of condoms?
No. There's not like condoms or anything. There's Priya, but that's not condoms.
Oh, jeez. So therefore, that a concern is disease. Is that a concern that, that just kind of flows out in your head and just all prisoners' head? Like, hey, HIV, AIDS, and any other diseases.
Well, what's crazy is that I was a peer educator after the laundry, and peer educator, we host classes the very first week of the month, and we teach about STIs, STDs, HIV. We educate. That's what they get a certificate for coming to our class. So it's funny that you asked that, because then I went to teaching it. But I think at one point, like I didn't care. Like I got very fortunate that I left, negative and with no lingering effects. But I think like it happened so quickly most of the time, and I don't know, it just happened a lot, like quickly. I didn't really think about it. No.
Yeah, where outside of the showers, where are these things happening? Like, are you able to go into? How does?
I didn't do it. I didn't do it in the cells, but I've seen it.
In my mind, the COs are walking throughout the day. There's open. I'm assuming you had an open situation to where there's a day room, and then
there's cell blocks. There's cell blocks. There's cubicles. So I mean, in the cell blocks, people go we'll switch out with like their roommates and stuff like that. Cubicles, I mean, late at night when everybody's asleep, I mean, you can get a little frisky if you wanted to.
Did you ever at all turn a straight man out? I mean, like, not saying he got you, but you approached him and turned him,
I mean, honestly, I don't ever believe people when they would tell. I don't know, honestly, what their past is. I want to say I did, but whether I did or it was never like a game of it to me. Like I wasn't like, oh, I want to get this or whatever.
You spoke on K2, and I've had others speak on how bad that drug took over prisons. Do you have a memory of like just someone that was just on the K2 and it's just like, oh man, like somebody saved this guy? How bad did you see it get for individuals? I
mean, it was awful. People were spending everything, dime drop of money they had to get high. And then it was awful everywhere. It stunk.
When they're high, what actions are they doing? Are they zombies? Are they active?
Zombies. Yeah. I didn't really see a lot of active K2 people. Like it was, I had never been around K2 before I went in. So like it's weed, but it's like on steroids. Like,
were you still an active drug user when you went in?
When I went in, yes, but I did not use while I was in.
How did you break the habit? Were you ever like addicted, or you just?
I mean, I'd had enough. Like I spent a year in county. I'd already been to prison, prior, like already been charged prior. I know I have no other room for opportunities to go back to prison, like, or go back in front of a judge and not get 25 to life. Like I know that the third time I'll get 3 strikes and I will be gone for a long time. So, I mean, that mixed with, I lost my mom in prison, there's a lot that happened. I'd had enough. I had tried it so many different ways and it just didn't work for me.
Condolences. You lost your mom in prison.
I did.
How long were you in, and what did she succumb to, or what?
So she passed away for throat cancer, and I think it was 2 years before I got out. So I was in for 4 when she passed.
If you don't mind, to get that news or to know that you're not there for her, what was that like for you to be helpless in regarding the matter? How did you get the news? Was it broke to you? And just if you don't mind speaking on it.
Okay, so it was during COVID. It was in 2021 when she passed. So there was no like going to the funerals. First of all, she had gotten cancer and they thought she was going to pass 6 months before she actually did, but she beat it and then it came back. So I was very fortunate to have my morning talks with her every morning, to where we were able to like clear up all of our issues that we had, like petty little issues that I was holding on to or she was holding on to. So when she beat it, the closure I had gotten already. Now, I heard when the chaplain called, my brother called me from the chaplain and they brought me into the chaplaincy, and I had a video visit of the cremation process, and the family was there and stuff.
How old was your mother?
She was born in 1963 and she died 5 years ago. So I think she was like 49 or something. She was young.
They always say that's one thing that, of course, happens as far as you doing a prison sentence, that mentally it kind of when you lose a loved one, especially your mother, it really does make you wonder, like, damn, what did I do to get here? And I'm stuck here until, of course, you had a sentence where you knew you had an out date. Mm-hmm. So, but what does that do for you mentally as far as having to do that video and then go back into still being in this world for that much time longer?
It was awful. It was an awful 6 months of my life. It was awful. Like, because you don't want to cry too much in front of the people, but back then they didn't have tablets. They were just coming out with them, or they hadn't got them. So like, it was all done in the day room on the blue phones, and like, it was hard. It was unlike any experience I ever had to deal with in life. But I mean, I don't know how it was hard.
For COVID to have hit, that was like March of 2020, February, I think they started getting it. It was between January and March. It was like before the world got shut down. How was it affecting the inmates? How was the news coming? And like, how were y'all treated? How did they separate y'all? How did it go during that once that COVID hit? How was the world of where you were at? And what unit were you in at that time?
I was at Jonay.
Okay.
Cool bed unit. They started making us wear masks. By the way, they never played any Dallas news, so I had no idea what was going on in Dallas. It was all Houston news. But they started wearing made us started wearing masks, and then they started testing us, and then I never caught COVID. I still to this day have never caught COVID.
Oh, congrats! They were testing through the nose, or
yes,
tongue swab. Okay,
yeah, nasal, and then I think they switched to mouth swabs. But they would move people out of our dorms to like they had cleared out like one of the sub blocks, and they were like, I think they moved the G4s to a different unit, and they used that sub block to house the people that got sick. So as you tested positive, you would go to quarantine in the sub blocks, and I don't know what happened there because I never caught it. And then they would come back 3 weeks later to their same bunk once they cleared negative for COVID.
Wow. Did anyone catch COVID? Anyone pass away?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was a lot. There was a lot of like casualties. I want to say there was like 11 or 12 on my unit.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, again, you're in the thick of it, and you don't have the news. Are you scared? Like the world is? I mean, because they put a lot of fear in a lot of people outside in the free world. Mm-hmm. Did the prison have the same type of fear? Like, man, this thing's gonna take. I mean,
honestly, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I knew that we were getting tested, and I knew that people were getting sick, and but I didn't know. I mean, I don't want to say I was fearful, but I was in prison. Like, I was just trying to stay alive.
Yeah. Let me ask you, would you say the worst thing, if not one, but multiple things, the worst thing you've seen while you was in there, like that just really made you say, wow, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not a place for a human being.
I would just say, I watched people get, like, the reason they closed down Ramsey 2 for a little bit is because this guy was leaving my dorm and going outside on rec, and a guy stabbed him, and he died, like, right in front of our face. And I just don't think it's any place for anybody. It's just not. And I wasn't even on a rock and roll unit, per se, like they like to call things. Like, I never was, in those type of units, thankfully. But death and those things happen everywhere. I learned respect, and I learned to stay in my lane, and that's what really got me through. But I saw a lot of things that, doesn't happen in the free world, per se.
One fear of prison that technically is just that generic fear for a male prison is that there are booty bandits in there, and you're going to get raped, you're going to get violated. It's going to happen. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen, but these things exist. Mm-hmm. Did that exist in your world as far as someone getting their free will taken from them, as far as, hey, you don't have an option, I'm taking it?
It didn't happen to me. But they have PREA now these days. That is pretty.
What's that?
Prison Rape Elimination Act or something. I taught it in my peer education. So I have a friend of mine that got out that I'm friends with now that had an experience like that. But me personally, I was never around anybody that got raped or got, taken advantage of.
Your friend's experience, did he ever tell you how it came about? Was he tricked into it? Was it forceful, or, was he just aggressively
So he was not interested in this guy. He was gay, but he was not interested in this guy. And this guy took his power over him and held him down and took what he wanted.
How were you with the COs as far as, did you have a friendly relationship with the COs? You didn't like the COs? How was your relationship with all the guards and,
Well, so it's a dance with the guards because you can't talk to them too much because people think you're telling on them. You can't interact. You don't want to be not interacting with them because, I was also, like I said, a peer educator. So we actually created a course called We Are Not Alone. So, like, I had a lot of access of moving around. And with a lot of moving around, people are very suspicious of, like, why are we getting shook down? Why are we on lockdown? Who's telling? So, like, with such a job of access, like, I had to be very mindful and careful of how much interaction I had with the guards because you don't want to get caught being too friendly with them. And then, your dorm let's say I'm out walking the bowling alley and our dorm gets shook down and I'm not there. Then they're trying to figure out who told on who or how did they know that things were going on. And so I got along with the girl guards really well. And that also is an issue because a lot of the guys are trying to get with the girls and the female guards. And so, like, trying not to be in their way, but trying to also be me, So I didn't have a bad relationship with them. I didn't have a great relationship with them. I had to, as a peer educator, I had to work with them. I had to.
Did any of the male guards ever try to make a pass at you from your knowledge?
Not that I know of, though.
Okay.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, I was saying, what do you do as far as you're openly gay, you're in prison? Is there a guard like that you like? Like, I like this guard. I'm going to be extra friendly with him.
Of course.
Do they like, man? Did you have a nickname while you was in there? Did they call you anything?
Mm-mm. No, I mean Jay.
Okay. Yeah, did they tell you like, hey man, get the hell away from me? Like, did you get a lot of that like homophobic?
No, because I never, and even to this day, I'm not the one that's going to run up to you and like, I had to catch your eye for me to like, I never would. I'm not one to chase or like, it was never my mission to turn people out. Like, it was never like, I'm going to go. Now, there was a lot of people that I did get like bad energy from or vibes from just for being gay. Like, I knew not to go around them because they didn't like punks or whatever. But I didn't ever approach them to try to have sex with them and then get that. It was just, there's people out there that just don't like Mexicans, don't like whites, don't like blacks, don't like gays, don't like this. They just are those type of people.
What was the worst crime you heard an inmate commit that you were around?
One of the guys that I was really close with, he was in traffic. He was 17. He got cut off. This guy flipped him off. He followed him home and murdered him and all 5 of his entire family.
Are you serious?
And he got life. And he cries. He is so sad. He was so young. He felt disrespected, and he followed him home and murdered his entire family.
Road rage.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I'm very mindful of.
Yeah, no, that's a first. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have any cellmates? Did you have like that you consider friends? Like you kind of got a cellie and like, man, I'm really taken to this person and, just friends. And how long were y'all in cellmates, or did he have to get shipped off or you get moved around?
Yeah, I had by the way, I talked to 3. I still have 3 people on my secure side I speak to. But so like, I'm still in contact with them and I still send them pictures on there and send them some money sometimes or send them an e-com. But there wasn't anybody, a guy I was a peer educator with got out like 6 months after I did. And we met up and hung out. We both worked together. But I wouldn't say like I developed any lifelong friendships that I don't keep in contact with now.
Okay. How would you grade the medical facility of the TDC system?
It's hard getting to see a nurse or whatever. Like, you have to put a sick call in and you're at their mercy. And I had 2 teeth pulled, so I was in excruciating pain during those years. And the thing is, you're at their mercy. And so I think they're doing their best, but I can't just go schedule an appointment with the dentist and go see them. Like, you have to wait your turn and wait for them to see you and pay the medical fee. And
when you say wait, like what is a typical wait? Like a couple hours, a couple of days? What are we talking?
A couple weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That could be like a month.
Yeah. Because you put your sick call in, you go and you see a nurse, they take your vitals, and then they send you back and you wait. And you don't even know when it is normally. You get a little lay-in the night before, and then you go.
Wow. So you're not going nowhere. What are your thoughts on the trans community as far as those who identify as women? Should they be in... Just give me your thoughts first, and then I ask you about the rules of prison, whatever.
Mm-hmm. So I think that, I think there's a lot, I think people don't understand, I don't understand, the idea of being a man and feeling like I should have been born a woman. I think that I don't think that people really understand the situation because it's one of those things like, I think a lot of people have people that have never been to prison have a misconception. Oh, they get fed well because they get 3 meals a day. And what they don't understand is how shitty the food is that and I think until you've never been in that person's shoes to understand what they're going through, right? Or what it's like. So as far as being like my opinion on trans is like, let people be them. If it doesn't affect you, leave it alone.
Do you feel the prison is set up for a man who identifies as a woman to be in a situation where there's nothing but men and you identify as a woman? Is it set up? Are systems in place to make that easy for them, or is it hard to still go as a woman?
So guys these days have tits. Like they take testosterone and hormones, or not estrogen and hormones, and then they have facilities that have, guys with tits.
Yes.
PC facilities and they handle all their medical care and stuff like that.
Okay. So these are just, if a person's been through a full sex change,
even just
tits at the time, they're normally not housed.
They won't let you be housed. They'll move you.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. You're coming out, I guess you could say. That was in your 20s, you said. Or did you have an indication that that's what your preference was early on, or was it an experience you had and said, hey, I think I'm going to move this way?
I think it goes back to middle school in the locker room, like just realizing that there was something different, like that guys turned me on, like just different. It was just, it was just, I knew something was different about me. As far as like coming out in prison, I have a rainbow on a rainbow peace sign on my back that I had gotten before I ever went down. So like, it was really in open showers hard for me to hide the fact that I had a rainbow peace sign on my back. No. So, I mean, couldn't lie about, cause it's easier to just go in there like under the radar, but I mean, I couldn't. So.
Even in life, your first experience, was that with someone who was openly gay as well, or was that with a person who was not?
I think my first experience was with a openly gay guy.
Okay. They say that it takes a while to adjust that you're actually in prison. How long did it take you to adjust that, you're actually in here? That.
Well, I did a year and some change in county, so I already knew I was locked up. Prison has its benefit. Like TDC's has a lot of benefits versus like, Loose Derrick does. Like as far as like, Dallas jail, like there's more freedom, there's more moving around, there's jobs, so I can speak for a lot of people. They're excited to go to TDC. Like once you sign for your time and you're going to prison, it's better to go to prison because you have more freedom, or things to do. I mean, Dallas County Jail, you literally sit in your dorm all day, every day. In prison, you can go and, get a job and work and, move around per se.
Yeah, no, county is, geez, it doesn't help.
So really prison is a freedom in itself. Like, you can go outside and walk the track. You can go, so versus sitting in Dallas County where you can't do shit. So
you said the food was horrible. The food itself is shitty. Did you have a favorite meal? I know they have normally like days like chicken Friday.
Fried chicken.
Yeah, that's normally like, that seems like
butter pancakes.
Oh yeah.
About it.
And what was normally on your like commissary? Like, what were you normally going after to get? Any books, any magazines, any, what'd you normally have? Like, okay.
Food. I was fat. I was a fatty.
You gained more. Were you bigger than you are now in prison?
Yeah. I went into, well, you gotta understand I was addicted to meth. So when I went in, I was 205 pounds. And when I came out, I was 310. And now I'm like 240.
310.
I gained a lot of weight.
How's that? So what kind of foods were you getting?
Soups, rice, anything to fill my belly. Because, the food that they served was not working.
Yeah. Josh, I want to ask you, as far as leading up to getting out, to get out, you got out earlier. Did you have a date that you were going to get out?
Yeah. So I had gotten 2 set-offs. Mine was non-aggravated. So I came up a year and a half, I think it was, after I got there for my first parole. And they set me off, and then they set me off again, and then I got parole. So, every year you get your little, whether they're going to give it to you or not. So I knew that I came up. Can't remember what month, November, whatever month it was. So,
is there a rule or an idea of when you're up for parole, what you should do, like leading up to it? Does it matter for those up for parole?
Just a bunch of prison talk. If you do this class, or if you have do changes, or do this or do that. If you work, if you have a parole attorney, there's all kinds of different ideas. I don't know what the recipe to get out is per se, because I had 2 set-offs and I had good behavior the entire time. A job, I talked people, I had a slew of certificates and they still denied me. So I don't know what the recipe is or what the right sauce is to get out, but everybody has their own opinion on what you should and shouldn't do to get out.
Now you're not supposed to be having sex in jail. You ever get in trouble?
I never got caught. No.
Oh, okay. Sly foot. All right. Upon getting out, walk us through as far as that day, or is it a transition? You have to go through they have like a program to get you out of whatever. Just walk us through as far as how quickly you got out and what you have to do to get out.
So my mom passed, like I said, when I was in prison. My brother moved to Tennessee. So my only family members did not live in Texas. So I had to go to a halfway house. So when I got out, I went to the Greyhound and I had to wait for the halfway house to come pick me up. And that was I had to call them on somebody's cell phone and they came and picked me up. And then I went to Dallas Transitional Center, DTC. And I was there and I had an ankle bracelet on for 3 months. So that's what I did. I went to DTC.
What was it for you getting out? What type of, I don't think much has changed from 2017 to 2023 or anything of that nature. But of course, you're in a pre-COVID or post-COVID world. Mm-hmm. What was the transition for you? And what did you do once you got out, as far as, did you have family to fall onto, or were you just out trying to get work? What did you fall back to?
So I had my brother put me on a pen pal site. And so when I got out, I had a guy his name's Daniel, that I was talking to, writing back and forth, and he sent me money and sent me a phone and put me on his plan. So I was very lucky there. And then I went to Goodwill one day with a friend and I got a job. I went and got an interview and I ended up getting a job 3 weeks after I got out. And then I ended up becoming getting promoted to director. And I ended up opening my own business.
Look at that.
From the credit card processing.
Look at that. Oh, what is your business?
Credit card processing.
Oh, look at that. Amazing. Look at God. Mm-hmm. Now that you're out and you're doing it the legit way, mm-hmm. do you look back and say, man, if I would have do you think you would have done something different if the knowledge you have now back then, or would you feel like I had to go through that path to get to where I am now?
So I am a firm believer that I wouldn't change a thing. I feel like everything that happened to me in my life is how I became the person I am today. I truly believe that, my faith and everything, that I am where I am supposed to be. And I needed to learn those. I'm stubborn. And, you can tell me 100 times that stuff's hot, but until I still feel it's hot, I just don't believe it. So
I hear you. Would you ever say, and was there ever a time that you felt prison was fun, as far as I'm having fun?
I wouldn't say fun, but it was tolerable. I was able, when I was a clerk in laundry, it was a hustle for me. So I felt like I was still hustling in the world, hustling commissary. When I was a peer educator, I was able to go and enrich people's lives and teach them things. And I was always moving, and I would leave at 7 and I would get back at 7 at night. And I was just moving around, and I was just, I had the ability to move, and nobody else had that, but certain jobs like ours.
Yeah, no.
So I felt honored, and I was also busy. So I was very I could have did more if I needed to. I was okay.
Yeah. Did you gamble? I know you said you play spades. Was that on your bingo cards as far as, hey, I'm going to gamble throughout?
Yes, I'm a gambler. Yes.
What were you? What were you gambling? What's normally the thing?
So they didn't have they created some cards and stuff like that, but a lot of people didn't gamble with cards because, people would like put a dent on one or like mark them or whatever, but dominoes. Yeah, knock. Dominoes. I gambled all the time. And then boards, like football boards, basketball boards, like shotgun boards.
There you go. Were there any rules as far as the Mexicans, the blacks, the whites? Were there was it segregated? Was there any rules like, hey, these guys don't mix, daytime, TV time, this is these guys? Did you see that a lot in there as far as just?
I saw a lot of tables like very segregated, also like there's Mexican, like different forms of the, gangs like Mexican Mafia and it's a star one for the Mexicans, Tonga Blast.
Yeah.
Like they were like kill on sight, like they were fighting,
Who was worse, the Mexican Mafia or the Tango Blast?
Well, I didn't see a lot of Mexican Mafia. That's an older one, but like I know that the Tangos were like the biggest.
Yeah. Like
there was a lot of them.
I hear that. Yeah. I hear you kind of come in. Did they ever want you to join?
No, because I was gay. I didn't even get approached. I was, and that's what I'm saying. It has its perks because I didn't have to deal with none of that bullshit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to say, would you have joined if they would have said, hey, man, we got you protection early on, at least, before you knew what the.
I mean, it depends on what perks it came with.
There you go. Man, Josh, with that being said, normally we do these prison stories where we don't do it to glorify prison. We try to do it as an education as far as what happens inside those walls. And, there's a lot of guys out here that's probably in college just like yourself that's maybe doing something that where they think is legal and they don't know the possible consequences of what they're doing. So I do want you to, if you don't mind, speak to the youth out there as far as letting them know what freedoms they're giving up, what they're expecting to go, what they're looking at to lose or hell, probably to obtain if they were to do time like you did. So if you don't mind speaking to the youth that's taking penitentiary chances out here.
I mean, just know that every choice has a consequence and that, just because you get away with something for a little bit, if it's against the law, it's against the law and it'll eventually catch up to you. And once it does, you lose everything that you thought you gained, such as relationships. I lost my mom without being able to say goodbye to her. At the end of the day, there are a lot of different services out there for whatever your issues are, whether it's homelessness, whether it's addiction, whatever your issues are, there are places out there that will help you. You don't have to do it on your own.
Thank you for that. Wise words. With that being said, I appreciate you. Again, it does take, some boldness to be able to come on and speak about your experience. And of course, it looks like you've learned from your experience. You moved on and you've went on to, of course, become an entrepreneur out here in society. So I do want to let people know that it's not the end of the world if you have to sit down and serve time. There's always a second chance. There's always a restart button. But with that being said, Josh, I appreciate you. Hopefully this is a first of multiple stories. I know we just scratched the surface of the introduction, but I have to say this is Prison Stories 101. And Josh, thank you. I salute you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.